and the manager certainly needs reinforcements in this window to get them back on track.
He'll get them though, Burnsy, won't he?
Yeah, he'll definitely get them. There's there's certainly a large sum available to the manager for this window. I think last I heard they were looking between 3 and 5. That could change as well with players going out. And I would expect the first arrival probably to be announced this afternoon. This Danish winger, Jep Okils, is coming in on loan from Preston. It's a loan with an option to buy. My understanding is the option to buy could possibly make him Aberdeen's record signing if all goes well. Obviously, that was Paul Bernard, £1 million, but I think the option to buy in this one is quite similar. So it's a decent amount of money that Aberdeen are wanting to pay out in this deal, and if all goes well and they trigger it in the summer, it's a big deal. But it's a player that Jimmy Thelin knows well. He had him for 3 years at Elfsborg and then sold him onto the Dutch team Utrecht, where he hardly kicked the ball, and then he moved to Preston in the summer.
But he went for about £3 million, didn't he, at Utrecht?
3 million to Utrecht. I think it was about 1.7 to Preston in the summer. So that's the sort of, that Preston spent 1.7, so you can imagine they'll be wanting as much of that fee back. So it'll be a fair chunk, a fair payback from the Aberdeen board towards Jimmy Thelin. But obviously they've still got money in the bank from the big summer sale of Bojan Miovski. So no, I don't think they're sitting on the money. They want to invest it and do everything they can to ensure that things turn around, especially for the manager who Dave Cormack and the board went all out to get in the summer.
Fraser,
sorry,
I was going to say, Fraser watched Aberdeen. You were at Motherwell, you were at Fir Park yesterday. Fraser, what was your view? Jimmy Thellin's starting to look a bit haunted to me. He looks as if he's almost starting to look like a rabbit caught in the headlights. I don't think he can quite get his head around what's happening to this team.
To be honest, I find his expression hasn't changed one little bit from when they were winning every week.
Really?
He's a very hard man to read. Burnsy, I'm sure will agree with that. It doesn't give much away. We're chipping away at him at the end of the game yesterday. Look, it's his side that are looking haunted defending to me. It's not just the wheels that have come off. It's the door, it's the window, the roof, everything. The whole thing's falling apart. You can't hide for the stats. That's 10 games without a win now. The first 11 games,
5 defeats in the trot.
5 defeats in the trot. If you take the first 11 games, it was sensational, absolutely sensational. They took 31 points out of 33, scored 24 goals and conceded 10. Incredible. They were sitting top of the table. 10 games later, 2 months later, they're now 19 points adrift at the top, having played a game more than Celtic. They've won none of those games, lost 7, drawn 3, scored 8 and 10 and conceded 20. It's a complete flip. It's incredible. And I get what Burns is saying. A lot of folks say they've now played everyone twice. Teams have worked out a system, and there is maybe an element of that. But just watching that game yesterday, within that system that Thelin likes, the 4-2-3-1, which is a nice solid system. I've always liked it. His team couldn't string 3 passes together. It was the quality on the ball was horrendous. The first 15 minutes, to be fair, for both teams was horrendous. There was no quality on the ball whatsoever. And I think that they're still trying to play out for the back, trying to play through teams, and they're just no managing. A couple of times Jack McKenzie got down the line and Nicky Devlin got down the right-hand side, but there's no end product. I think they had one shot at goal in the first half, a good Nicky Devlin header, on target. They lose the first goal, fall apart, Rubezic loses the head, they immediately lose a second goal, game's over. It's just, and do you know what? They had 1,500 fans down the road again yesterday, and they must be scratching their head wondering, where's this team going now? Because the current form, if we reproduce that over the next 10 games, we won't even be in the top 6, never mind the European spots.
Right, listen, you pair were two cheeks of the same arson with the penalty decision at Easter Road. What were your thoughts on the Rubicic red card then? I take it you saw it?
It was right in front of me.
And?
I thought at first...
Does it connect?
I thought at first they stood up and caught him accidentally, then I saw the replay and it doesn't connect, but he's a stupid boy for reacting to Tony Watt. Now, these two were at it for the first minute. when Rubezic went right through Watt for a header, clattered him, and Watt got up and laughed in his face. And from then on, it was just the verbals were ongoing. Watt got right in his head, and Rubezic knew what he was doing. Watt again is standing over him, giving him verbals, and Rubezic completely loses his head right in front of the dugouts.
But if he doesn't make contact, Fraser, how can it possibly be a red card?
He moves ahead and pushes him. It's, it's handbag stuff, but we know the rules these days. You can't do that. Goes down as violent conduct. It's about as violent as what, I know, I don't know, a slap with a wet bit of paper, but it's still violent conduct at the end of the day. He knows the rules, and apparently, according to teammates, he's apologised in the dressing room. He knows he did wrong.
Scott?
Sorry, go on, Scott.
Tony Watts obviously put the bait out. Rubezic is taking it. You know what I mean? To me, it's stupidity. I mean, I think he's given the referee a decision to make. I mean, if Rubezic really, at this moment in time, he should be doing all he can to help his team in the pitch, and he sold his team short. And even, he's now suspended now. In saying that, I don't think he's probably been one of
off without him.
He's been one of Aberdeen's issues in this run. He's costing them too many goals. So, but he'll learn the hard way. But if you ask me, I thought it was a red card.
I'm struggling with it because I thought the TV pictures that I've seen were inconclusive. At first, it looks at full speed, and in one of the angles, it looks as if he's made contact. He's almost head-butted Tony Watt off his feet. That is violent conduct and a red card, and no mistake. But there are other angles where it just looks like a shove in the chest. If we're going to red card players for shoving people in the chest, we've got a problem.
I think he was lucky his head didn't connect, though.
You think he tried to headbutt him?
He tried to.
An attempted headbutt.
Just missed, yeah. And do you know what? I get what Scott's saying there. It's not been great, but we've also lost Gavin Malloy, who again hasn't been great in the centre of defence. He's out for 2 or 3 months with an injury. Angus MacDonald looks severely lacking in form and confidence. They've got no centre halves at the moment. That's where, and I'm pretty sure Jimmy Thelin will be looking to bring in at least one centre half and strengthen the spine of that team. But that should be the priority. That and a striker, I reckon. I don't know what Burnsley thinks.
They're working on two defenders just now.
Not surprised.
One they're looking at. It depends on work permit.
Interesting. Well, look, the comments.
Name names, Burnsy.
Willie Miller and Alec McLeish, that's what I heard.